Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into a great medium-level problem, count submatrices with top left element and sum less than k. It sounds a bit like a mouthful, but we'll break it down together until it's crystal clear. Here is the problem description. We're given a grid of numbers and a target value called k. Our job is to find out how many different rectangular submatrices, starting at the very top left corner, that is, coordinate 0, 0, have a total sum that is less than or equal to our limit k. The key detail here is that every submatrix we care about must include the top left corner. This simplifies things a lot. It means we only need to look at rectangles that expand from that one fixed starting point at the top left. We just need to find all possible ending points where the resulting sum stays within our limit. Let's look at this example. If we just take the first cell, the sum is 7. That's under 18, so that's 1. If we take the first two cells in the top row, the sum is 13. Still under 18. We keep expanding either to the right or downwards, and checking if the total sum of that rectangular area is still okay. Just a quick heads up. We'll be walking through the logic using Python. But don't worry if that's not your main language. I'll have the full code for Java, C++, and JavaScript ready for you at the end of the video. If you want to grab those right now, the link to the website is in the description. To solve this efficiently, we shouldn't recalculate the sum for every rectangle from scratch. That would be like recounting all your money every time you find a penny. Instead, we'll use a technique called 2D prefix sums. We'll build up the total sum for each spot by using the work we've already done for the spots above and to the left of it. Here's the Python solution. We create a helper table called pref to store our running totals. We loop through every row and column, calculating the sum for the rectangle ending at that spot. If the sum is within our limit k, we count it. Since all our numbers are positive, if we hit a sum that's too big, we can actually stop checking the rest of that row. If you want to test this code out yourself without typing it all out, check the link in the description. It'll take you to leetcodeunlock.com, where you can copy the exact code we're discussing here. Now let's break that code down into bite-sized pieces. First, we grab the size of our grid. We create our pref table with one extra row and one extra column of zeros. This is a common trick. It lets us look at the previous row or column without worrying about crashing if we're at the very edge of the grid. It keeps the math much cleaner. This is the heart of the solution. To find the sum of the box ending at row R and column C, we take the current number, add the total sum of the box above it, and add the sum of the box to its left. But wait! The box that's diagonally up and to the left was inside both of those previous boxes, so we subtract it once, so it isn't counted twice. Every time we calculate a new total sum, we check it against our target k. If it's small enough, we increment our answer counter. Because the numbers in our grid are all 0 or higher, as we move to the right, the rectangles only get bigger and the sums only go up. So, if we ever exceed k, we can give up on the rest of that row immediately. Let's trace a small example. We start at the top left with 7. It's valid. Moving right, we add 6 to get 13. Still valid. Moving to the second row, the cell below 7 is 6, so that box is also 13. Finally, the big box at the bottom right. We take the current 6, add 13 from the left, 13 from above, and subtract the 7 that was shared. We get 25, which is too big, so our final answer is 3. In terms of performance, we visit every cell in the grid exactly once, so the time is proportional to the number of rows m times the number of columns n. Our extra memory is also proportional to the grid size, although if we were really clever, we could overwrite the original grid to save that space. We'll look at the other languages in just a second, but I wanted to mention why this channel sounds the way it does. I built this AI system for myself. It lets me generate clear explanations for new problems the moment they drop. It helps me learn much faster, and I upload them here in case they help you too. There are no ads and no sponsorships, just straight learning. Think about the edge cases. What if the very first number is already bigger than k? Well, since we must include that top left corner, no submatrix will ever work, and our answer will be 0. If k is huge, we'll just end up counting every single possible rectangle that starts at the top left. As promised, here are the solutions for Java, C++, and JavaScript. To avoid any typing errors, feel free to head over to the website link to copy the code directly into your editor. Here is the Java version. It follows the exact same logic, using a 2D array for our prefix sums and the same formula to calculate the rectangular area. Next, we have the C++ solution. We use a vector of vectors for our prefix sum table. The break statement inside the inner loop is a nice little optimization that keeps it snappy. Finally, here is the JavaScript version. It's almost identical to the others. We initialize our prefix array and iterate through the grid, counting valid sums as we go. So to recap, when you see a problem asking for sums of rectangular areas, think 2D prefix sums. By building our totals step by step, we turn a slow problem into a very fast one. And remember to look for early exit conditions like we did here to squeeze out even more performance. Before we wrap up, I want to invite you to check out my other channel, Leetcode Unlocked. I'm on a personal mission to eventually post a clear explanation for every single problem on the platform. If you're studying for interviews or just love puzzles, come join the journey. If you found this helpful and want to support the goal of covering every problem, you can buy me a boba at the link on the slide. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I post these explanations as soon as the daily challenge goes live, so you can keep your streak going. Happy coding, and I'll see you in the next one.